one reason or another, everybody has their reasons for getting into aviation. These are just some of mine. These are just 4 of the reasons that I personally got involved, and a lot of people have the same bullet points. So yeah, there's plenty of perks and reasons to get in this profession. These are just 4 of mine. Great. So we do think we should mention this. So FAPA, since the 80s, has tracked major airline pilot hiring. We're the only institution to do so. So we've tracked on a monthly basis how many pilots each major airline has hired, which is kind of cool. We've had a track record of almost 40 years on that, and this is just a small representation of that. And the purpose of showing this slide and this data is just to show you literally the ups and downs of this industry, how cyclical it is. So you can see at some points they're up, some points they're down, sometimes they're really up, sometimes they're really down. So right now, and you can kind of tie the down points to economic downturns and major events, 9/11, 2007, 2008, things like that. You can kind of tie those to the news cycle and to the economy. So the record that, according to FAPA, of the most pilots hired in any given year was in the year 2000, was 5,004 pilots total hired at a major airline in the United States. We predict that we're going to break that record in 2017, or at least be very close. So that's in a 40-year history, the most pilots hired. We're going to probably break there. If not this year, it'll definitely be in 2018, or almost definitely, I should say. So, as far as the time to get into the industry, this is it.
Hey everybody, my name is John Sammy, and I'm a pilot recruiter at Piedmont Airlines, and this is, where are you?
Right here. Hi everybody, my name is Laura Bailey. I'm also a pilot recruiter at Piedmont Airlines.
All right, so we're going to share our stories with you about our backgrounds just real quick so you can know where we're coming from. And then we highly encourage you later during the roundtable discussions to ask us as many questions as possible. We are here to give you as much information as possible to prepare you for whichever journey you're about to embark on. And then Laura, do you want to tell us a little bit about the cadet program and for flight instructors?
Absolutely. So right now we currently partner with, I want to say 23 or 25 partner schools. But what that means is, let's say you go to UND, for example, and you go through all your ratings and you become a CFI there. As long as you are instructing at one of our partner schools, which UND is one of them, you need 400 hours of total time to interview with us. At 500 hours, you can sign on as a cadet, and that's your interview for the rest of your career, which I'll get into that in just a second. But we do offer our brand new pilots, or FOs, a sign-on bonus of $16,200, so you'll get access to $5,000 of that as a cadet to help cover any kind of cost, tuition reimbursement, that kind of thing. And then you're working on your ATP minimums. Once you hit those, you can come over as a first officer at Piedmont Airlines. But what I mentioned before, having that one and only interview, we do have the direct flow to American. So even as a cadet, if you get hired on through our cadet program, you will essentially never have to interview for an airline job for the rest of your career, assuming that you choose to make American Airlines your final choice.
How's everybody doing today? Good. Well, welcome to the Future Pilot Forum. My name is Captain Jessica Hines. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm one of a very few females in aviation. Actually, in the industry, 4.5% in the world are female of pilots across the world. And about 6%, a little less than 6, is a female in the United States for pilots. And that number is actually dropping. It was more in the past. So I do a lot of volunteer work to help spread the word. Because everybody says, well, maybe, women don't want to be airline pilots because they want to be home with their kids. Well, that doesn't make any sense because there's a lot of females that are flight attendants, and they're away from their kids just as much as I am. So I don't know what the disconnect is. I didn't know if I could be an airline pilot, but I made it happen. So I'm trying to spread the word to anybody to tell them, if you really want to do it, follow your dreams and you can make it happen. Where there's a will, there is a way. There's always a way. So who thinks that this is probably the best view from an office you could ever get? I don't sit in a cubicle, play on a computer. I get to see sunsets and sunrises just like this. It's actually one of the coolest things. I really enjoy the job. Actually, my favorite part of the job is travel. So I don't know if anybody else has a travel bug here, but working for Envoy and then soon American Airlines has the best travel privileges in the industry. That's me riding a bike in Amsterdam, and to the right is actually Greece. That's on top of the Acropolis. When I was in high school, my senior year of college, I took a Greek mythology class, and I thought Greek mythology was really neat. And for my 30th birthday, my husband and I went to Greece for the first time. And when I sat down on one of the benches looking at the Parthenon, I started to cry. I made it there to a place that I never thought that I would be able to go in my lifetime, and I got to go there for my 30th birthday, which is really cool.
Good afternoon. Just want to thank FAPA for letting us come by and do this. What a great opportunity for you guys to hear from all the airlines, hear our experiences, and also get some good networking done too. So I was fortunate enough as a kid to be pretty good at baseball, and so I took my first lesson at, I think, 16, and I was just like, okay, this is cool. I'm digging this for sure. So I was lucky enough to get a baseball scholarship to South Carolina. So I took that scholarship money and I went to the local airport and said, here, I want to fly, whatever this can get me. It was $2,000 at the time. It was like, whatever it can give me. So I ended up getting a job there as well. I was fueling airplanes. Actually, I was fueling airplanes, fueling Piedmont Airlines, the Dash 8-200. So talk about networking. Get a job at an airport and talk to everybody, because you will meet people that will help you along in your career. As a matter of fact, I met a guy from Piedmont, and he kind of helped me mentor through the process. So I got all my flight training in South Carolina as I was playing baseball, and I could either go baseball or continue with flying. And I thought, I'm good at baseball, and that's fun, but I really want to fly. So I went to flight school up in North Carolina to finish up my ratings. And then I became an instructor, flight instructor, did that for about 2.5 years, and then I flew freight for about a year. And then I got to the point where I was able to throw resumes out to the regionals. And so I threw resumes out to Great Lakes Airlines, Pinnacle, and Horizon Air. And the funny thing about it is Horizon, I didn't even know anything about Horizon when I was in Baltimore, so it was just like, hey, who are they? Well, they gave me a call and said, hey, come on in, came out to Seattle, and I was like, dude, this is all right out here. It was summertime, by the way. So the sun was shining, it was nice. So I was like, I'm digging it out here. So they hired me. And I took my little Jetta, came out here, drove it all the way out, and I didn't know any, but I knew I had a job, and that's all that mattered to me at that time. So I spent 3.5 years at Horizon. And at the time when I was at Horizon, Alaska is really close to Horizon. We're like tight-knit. We're in the air group. So you got the air group, and then you got Horizon in Alaska. And you start to get to know everybody at Alaska. I mean, we're kind of a big family. So at the time, they had an opportunity where if you had enough time at Horizon and you had enough total time, that you can apply to Alaska. And I thought, man, that's pretty cool. I could get on the majors pretty young. That was always my goal, is to fly for a major airline. So I had about the minimum time when I applied for Alaska in 2007. And my goodness, they hired me. So what a cool deal. I remember sitting there thinking, I cannot believe that I'm going to fly for a major airline. It was always a goal, and that was 10 years ago. It's been absolutely awesome.
My name is Ron Limes. I am the Seattle-based chief pilot for Alaska Airlines, the last great airline. And we fly 737s. Of course, we're now merged with Virgin America, and they fly Airbuses, and we're just so happy that this merger and our airline is growing. It's a great time. I applaud everyone who's under 16 or 17 years old. Who's doing that? Who's high school? Well, I applaud you for being here. I mean, it shows a commitment above and beyond your peers to chase your dreams and do what you want to do. So I applaud you, and I especially applaud the parents who got you here, because you didn't drive, right? Like JP said, I'm a Northeasterner. I'm from New York. Go Yanks. And I wanted to fly. I got my bug when I was in the 5th grade. Who's got their bug? Hey, young man, when did you get your bug? Last year, so you know exactly when you got it. When did you get yours? Right. So, you like me can identify exactly where you were when you got that bug, right? You can all feel it. You all know it. So my advice to you, young folks, is to hang on to it and keep pursuing it. Keep driving.